Great, everybody. Welcome to Lab 2, which corresponds to the Statistics with One Variable lecture and chapter. So the first thing that this lab asks us to do is obtain the mode for the variable's ownership, hospital-affiliated, and chain-affiliated nursing homes. Now, Stata doesn't have a command that explicitly generates the mode, so the way we're going to go about discerning the mode is using the tab command, which we got introduced to last week. So I'm going to highlight these three tab commands and run them here real quick in succession. And essentially what we're looking for here, right, is the value that has the highest percentage, right? So the mode for the ownership variable is 3. The mode for hospital status is 0, or the mode is more nursing homes are unaffiliated with a hospital. And then for the chain variable, the mode is 1. Now, for all of the other summary statistics that we're interested in, such as the mean and the standard deviation, we would use the sum command. Now, this is short for summarize, and if we just use the sum command by itself, what this does is estimate summary statistics for all variables in the data set. Right, so these are the unique identifiers, right? So there's no numeric value expressed there, but if we look at some of these other variables, like the percentage of Medicare residents or Medicaid residents, the summary statistics are a little bit more useful, right? So in this case, both of these variables are, there's 1,487 cases, as is the case for all the variables in the data set. The average nursing home has 9.4% of their residents paying through Medicare. The standard deviation is 10.2, and then it ranges from 0 to 147. Now for Medicaid, right, we see the average home has 58.3% of their residents paying through Medicaid, a standard deviation of 50.8, and it ranges from 0 to 616. Right, and if we think about standard deviation as being a measure of spread, right, it makes sense why the standard deviation is so much larger for Medicaid than it is for Medicare, right? Because this ranges from 0 to 616 as opposed to 0 to 147. Right, so what this does is it gives us basically all the variables and a quick snapshot of what they look like. But let's focus on the Medicare, Medicaid, occupancy rate, and total nursing hour variables. And so every variable that we want to limit our summary statistics to, we have to type out specifically in our do file. And so we do that, and when we estimate it, right now it's just these 4 variables. And as usual, we get the same things: the observation, the mean, standard deviation, min, and maximum value. Now, we can also get a little more detail out of the summary statistics by putting comma detail at the end of the command. And so when we do this, we get the percentiles for each variable. We get the variance now instead of the standard deviation, right? And if we took the square root of this, it would give us the standard deviation. Same thing with here, and same thing with here. It's just a way to report a little bit more data. Now, finally, what we want to do is take these 4 variables here and express them in a way that is professionally formatted in a table. And so we're going to rely on the outreg2 command in Stata. Now, for those of you that have not installed it, you're going to want to click on the help button, search, and you're going to want to type in outreg2. Make sure you're searching all. And if you hit OK, this opens up the search screen, and you're going to want to click here on outreg2, click here to install, And for me, it says all files already exist, but for you being a first-time installer, it'll tell you that the package was installed successfully. And so exit out of this screen and go back to the main screen. And now that we have Outreg 2 installed, we can use the command. And so what you're going to want to do first is make sure that your file directory is set up to where you want to save. All right, so in my case, I need to go up here on File and click Change Working Directory. Right, and right now I'm in my class example folder, and I want to hit Choose, so I change the class directory to that folder. Now the syntax for the outreg2 command goes as follows, right? So we type outreg2 using, in parentheses, whatever you want to name your document, comma, replace sum, and then in parentheses put log, and then keep the 4 variables that we want to make a summary statistic table out of. Now the other thing I'm going to add here is Word, because I want to express this as a Word document, so it'll be easy to open. So we run this command, right? And if it was estimated properly, we should get this directory cout thing. Now what I like to do is go to Microsoft Word and open up that document, right? So I'll go and find that folder, class example. We have summary statistics, and it's saved as a rich text file. And we can open that up within Word. And so if we click that, we now see this really nice table that is easily and quickly professionally formatted. So we can maybe just capitalize these so they look a little bit more official. Occupancy by itself should be occupancy rate. And then this is total nursing hours per resident day. Now, by itself, right, the table looks a little ugly by how it's formatted. So what you want to do is go to Table Design, or excuse me, go to Layout, View Grid Lines. And what we want to do is stretch some of these out so it's all on the same line and looks a little better. Let's go ahead and sort of move these over so we can have space for the variable names to just exist on one line. And then we can pull it out that way. Right, and there we go. Everything is on one line. We could remove this row and shift the cells up. And then if we unclick View Grid Lines, here's our table. Right, and we'll just remove that real quick. Shift that up. We'll click on this again. Go to Table Designs and turn the border painter on, which is this right here. We could also remove the border, but we want this border. And we just highlight what we want. Unclick that. And there we have a really good professional looking table made with minimal effort.